Friscolanti, and you are watching Frisco's SMC Clips, my new YouTube channel where I show some of, I show some of my interviews from my show on SMC Nights Radio on Stationhead, Frisco's weekly sports special. Specifically interviews, because some of you might not have Station and might want to listen to them, so now you can watch and listen to them at the same time here. So in my last video, I said how I was doing the Next Gen Hounds game, interviewed Chris Brown, but then the period before that, they wanted to find out a little bit more about me, so I was the one being interviewed by Gerry Liscumb Jr. and Spanky Robinson upstairs in the Sioux Greyhounds booth. So I decided, why not give you guys this interview so that you can learn a little bit more about me. Thank you.
Rock 101.
Gerry Liscumb Jr., Spanky Robinson, Louis Friscolanti bring you back inside the GFL Memorial Gardens in Sault Ste. Marie, 4-2. All right, Greyhound lead after 20 minutes of play. Second annual Next Gen game. And Louis, first off, I have to ask you, it's only 20 minutes in. Spank brought you around the ring before the game. You got on Rock 101 with Jeff McNeese on the live remote. Has it been everything you expected so far?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen how much goes into this. The downstairs area, the locker room is so much different than when my team plays. There is so much gear out. It's crazy. And then up here, I never realized just how big this area was.
Did he bring you in the dressing room too?
No, he did not bring me into the dressing room. But
may have to see maybe later.
Yeah.
Got to ask you. You applied, one of 6 area youth that became part of our Next Gen game. What made you want to do this?
Well, I found out about it, and I have been listening to Detroit Tigers and your broadcast of the Hounds games for years, and I love sports. I have a book called Chronicle of 20th Century Sports, the entire 19th century, when I read it cover to cover. So, I love sports, and I saw this, and I've always wanted to be a broadcaster, and I've been doing it at SMC Radio, and I do Sioux College baseball games, so I said, might as well try for this, so...
The SMC, and I'll turn over to you in a sec, Spank. The SMC, St. Mary's College radio station, is it just in the school, or can people in the community actually tune in?
People in the community can do it. Shout out to everybody there.
What is the call letter? What is the signal?
So it's not a signal. It's on this weird app called Stationhead. It's not weird, but you got to download it.
Okay.
It's called Stationhead.
Yeah.
And you got to put in SMC Nights Radio, and you'll get their broadcast. However, you have to have a Spotify or Apple Music account to hear the music, but you can't hear the talking without any of it.
Okay. And last question, I'm going to ask you to start things off. Tell us a little bit about your family. Sister Veronica, your mom Marinda, your dad Michael. Tell us a little bit about the Friscolanti.
So my dad is the editor-in-chief of Village Media. That's the company that owns Sioux Today. He also wrote for Maclean's for a long time. He's done a lot of stuff in the journalism industry. My mom is a teacher at St. Francis French Immersion, and my sister Veronica is a student at Our Lady of Lourdes, and she plays hockey as well.
Spank, that's one thing that stood out for me when I was talking to Mike the other day. I thought it was so neat. Maclean's magazine. That's a staple in Canada.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Louis, I got to ask you, you got to be pretty stoked. All the boys from your hockey team, they all, I don't know if everybody chipped in or what's going on, but everybody's in attendance here. You got to see them before the game. I think they're just as excited as you, and I got to tell everybody that didn't hear it that you got the biggest ovation.
I could hear it from down there. I looked up; they were going crazy.
Talk a little bit about the boys coming to the game and wanting to be part of it when you're involved.
So I think what happened was it was actually totally random. You see, my hockey team, our out-of-town tournament got canceled for weird reasons, and so all of a sudden it's too late in the year to get another permit to go. So we don't have a tournament, so we have all this money left in the team fee. So we're like, we might as well get this booth, and they hadn't even announced it when I applied for this. So then they announced it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's the game that I'm doing Next Gen. So it all just perfectly worked out.
Well, if you have all this money left over, Spank needs a raise.
You gotta tell the story. I had the opportunity, Louis, to talk with your coach from last year, Chris Kelly, and he told me I had no idea about Ron McLean getting involved. Your team last year, not doing very well during the regular season. I think you had a coaching change, and everything just switched over. You were part of it. Fired a big hat trick in the playoffs. Tell the listeners, start from square one last year.
Last season, I was drafted to the U15 House League Pro Shop Penguins team. They were the defending champions, and the season started off okay, but then we had a coaching change, and all of a sudden things went downhill really fast. We started losing every game, like literally every game. We finished the regular season in second last place. Like we lost to every team, got destroyed in our out-of-town tournament. It was not very fun. We go into the playoffs, win the first game against the worst place team, which wasn't surprising. Then we have to play the first place team, and we beat them to surprise everybody. Then we beat the team that I score a hat trick against. Then we're in the semifinals. Minute left in the game. The team that we're playing takes a lead. We tie it up. Chris Kelly's son ties it with 10 seconds left. We win in overtime. Then we go on to beat the North Channel Lightning here 5-1 in the finals.
I understand. It was just like a Mighty Duck movie. It was the ovation of the crowd, and that must have been a crazy time.
It is. I will never forget. I turned around on the bench and we realized we were about to win. There were so many people just going to break the glass. Like, it was rocking back and forth. It was crazy.
Tell the Greyhound listeners, also you do some broadcasting on your own, some baseball involved, and just explain maybe a little more about your SMC radio. Is it music? Is it what happens there? So I do I do the Sioux College baseball games now. They're on this app that you have to get. But SMC Radio is the only high school radio station in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And it's where any student can do anything they want on it. They can do talk shows. They can just play music. I do a weekly sports show where I go over all sporting events, SMC, as I said in my application video. And I really like I have interviews with the big players. It's really fun. One final thing, Gerry, I want to mention. Brad Cochamilio on the Sarnia radio broadcast here today, but I think Lewis outdueled him way better interview with us. So I know Brad's boss is listening back home, right, Lewis?
Yeah.
So
you ready for your second intermission interview?
Yes, I am. Very ready.
All right. One last question. Favorite Greyhound?
Probably right now, Bryce McCullough-Marker.
Okay. All right. So 2 goals tonight for BMB. Hounds have a 4-2 lead after the second period. That was our next gen junior broadcaster here in intermission number 1. Quick timeout coming back. Period 2 next. Pinos get fresh. Sioux Greyhounds hockey. Sioux's Rock Station. Rock 101.